Are you feeling that pit in your stomach? I know that feeling. The solicitor bar exam is just 8 weeks away, and you're probably wondering how in the world you're going to pull this off. Well, grab a beverage or a stress ball and let's get real about how we're going to tackle this exam together. All right, let's rip off the band-aid and face some hard truths. Your brain is not a hard drive. It will be very difficult to download or memorize all the information contained in the materials, no matter how many all-nighters you pull. But here's the silver lining. If you go about your reading by aiming to digest the foundational legal principles and use other helpful aids such as the detailed table of contents and index and charts, then you're off to a good start. Now, I want to briefly talk about how significant and helpful charts are during bar prep and the exam. I stand by using charts all day, every day, and twice on Sundays because they provide you with the information you need right at your fingertips instead of having to spend time, which, by the way, you don't really have much of, to open your main materials, find what page you're looking for, then flip to that page, and you get the picture. Now, if you don't have killer charts, check out our website and we'll get you sorted. Number 2, you need a strategy, not just reading some pages here and there, then switching to another method that your friend told you about, and then skipping to different subjects and going back and forth. No, we need a strategy from the beginning that actually works so you can be efficient and productive. Number 3, balance. Balance is not just some Zen buzzword. Look, I get it. You're dealing with a million things. Maybe it's articling, the LPP, you've got kids, other responsibilities, and just life is happening. But if you try to sprint through this marathon, you might just crash and burn out real quick. And we don't want that for you. Number 4, be real with yourself. If you're zombie walking out of the office or class at like 7 p.m., scheduling a 4-hour study session afterwards is a bit optimistic. So try not to squeeze too much into your schedule each day and be honest with what you can handle. If you can realistically do only 2 hours of focused studying during the weekdays, then that's great. We'll work with that and go harder on weekends. And just a side note, you want to match your study time to your energy peak levels. If you're a morning person, and God bless you if you are, and you have more energy and concentration in the morning, then align your studies during that time period. Number 5, last but not least, if 8 weeks feels too tight of a study period, it's okay to aim to write the exam at the next sitting. Remember, this is your journey. If your friends are all gung-ho for writing the exam in November, good for them, and you can cheer them on. But if that timing is not right for you, then wait. Rushing into the exam when you're not really ready for it is a recipe for a do-over, and we don't have time for that. Section 2, the game plan. Now, let's talk strategy. I am a fan of the 2/3, 1/3 split. So in the first 2/3, in other words, between weeks 1 and 5, here's what I would do. Number 1, read all the LSO materials, starting with and spending more time on the area of law or subject that's most challenging, then working my way to the easier stuff. So for example, if business law is the most challenging for you, start with that one, then move on to the less challenging subject areas. Also, you want to read smart, and the LSO helps us do just that. On their website, they've listed the competencies tested on the exam. So guess what? You can use that to direct what areas you should be spending a good chunk of your time on. Now, I know that can be easier said than done to understand what the materials are saying regarding various areas of law, or the fact that it is hard to focus on the readings. So here's my suggestion. Break down your readings paragraph by paragraph or perhaps page by page. Read one, then summarize it in your own words so you're actively engaging with the information, which really helps. Another way to keep you engaged in your readings is by imagining that you have a specific legal issue that's addressed by the sections you'll be reading, and you're looking for answers to help you get out of that issue. When you put yourself in the equation, it may just give you a new perspective on things. Now, let's quickly chat about summaries. Summaries are super helpful during the stage that you're reading the LSO materials, especially summaries that break down the concepts in a way where you can connect the dots easier. Now, if you are in search of summaries like that, especially if you're a visual learner or you simply just want a better understanding of the legal concepts, check out our website. We actually have a sweet deal going on right now for the next few days, so you don't want to miss out on that. Number 2, do practice questions right after reading each subject area. Don't wait until you finished reading all the materials before you start doing questions. Why? Because practice questions are your reality check and your game plan all in one. It will let you know whether you're really digesting the information and are able to apply it to whatever question is thrown at you. I'd say to aim to answer between 50 and 60 questions per subject on timed. It's not about speed just yet, it's really about getting it. Because once you get it, then speed typically becomes less of a problem later on. Plus, we'll work on speed from week 6 to 8. And when you are finished with the practice questions, please make sure to review not just your answers, but also why you got a question wrong or why you found a question challenging and so forth. Was it tricky wording? Was there a sneaky keyword you missed in the answer choices or question stem that had you caught it, it would have changed how you approach the question? Number 3, find your exam taking groove. While doing practice questions, figure out, for example, what materials work best for you. Is it an index? Is it the detailed table of contents? Or maybe is it both, depending on the type of question? Also, practice using charts so you can get familiar with where all the information is so that when exam day comes around, you're already on top of it. Now, for the last 1/3, so weeks 6 to 8, here's where you want to practice, practice, and practice. Practice questions and practice exams are going to be your new best friend during this period. Here, I would suggest doing a new set of practice questions for each subject area. And then once you're done, and after some days have passed, repeat that first set of practice questions you had done for each subject area back in weeks 1 to 5. Now, for both sets of practice questions, I would recommend that you do it timed. So spending an average of 1 minute and 40 seconds on each question. When it comes to practice exams, I would suggest doing 2 to 3 practice exams and space them out by a few days after doing a review. Now, in between the times you're doing practice questions, I would recommend that you also review each subject area at least once. However, for the professional responsibility section, I would recommend reviewing that at least 2 times during this period, just because of how important it is and how much it is tested on the exam. If you want a visual of how this all would look like, check out the link in the bio section for a free sample schedule. Now, if you've got any questions or need some extra guidance, please send me a DM and I'll be happy to assist. All right, see you in the next one.